Hello everyone, Jonathan Schlack, EAS&Weather here. If you hear the birds chirping outside, I'm doing my severe weather update recording outside because it's such a nice day. So, if you hear the breeze, that's also why. But anyway, we have a slight risk today that covers parts of central and north central and east central Arkansas, southwestern Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northwestern Alabama. That is where we have a slight risk for severe storms today. And going to a wider view, we have a marginal that covers a pretty good real estate from southeastern Oregon over to south central Montana, all the way down into central Colorado, eastern New Mexico, going through parts of Texas, Oklahoma, over eastward that goes all the way over to southern North Carolina and much of South Carolina. They've already have the marginal in place, so. And going over to the tornado threat, there is pretty much none today, less than 2% in all areas of the country. So, and going over to the wind aspect of things, there is a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or higher within 25 miles of any given point. And that is across parts of north central and east central Arkansas, southwestern Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northwest Alabama. That is where we have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or higher. And there's a 5% that covers areas from southeastern Oregon all the way through, going eastward and then down south into central Colorado, eastern New Mexico, all the way into parts of Texas and Oklahoma, all the way eastward through much of South Carolina and southern North Carolina. That's where we have a 5% chance of 58 mile per hour wind gusts or higher from thunderstorms. And there is a 15% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger in parts of north central and east central Arkansas, southwest Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northwestern Alabama. 15% chance of large hail 1 inch in diameter or larger. Alright, so, and there's a 5% chance of that 1 inch in diameter hail or larger in southeastern Montana, over down south into eastern Wyoming, down south into and eastward, going through Texas, parts of northwest Texas, western Texas I should say, going through Oklahoma, south central and eastern Oklahoma, all the way eastward over to much of South Carolina and southern North Carolina. 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger. And the summary indicates a broad area of isolated severe hail and damaging wind potential exists today from parts of the northwest into the high plains, southern plains, and lower Mississippi Valley and southeast. A relatively greater severe threat may exist this afternoon and early evening across parts of Arkansas, southwest Tennessee, northern Mississippi, and northern and central Alabama. So, that's today. Going over to the day 2 outlook, we have a slight risk that encompasses the extreme southeastern corner of Montana, western South Dakota, extreme eastern Wyoming, and northwestern Nebraska. That's the slight for tomorrow, and there's a marginal that covers far eastern Montana, western half of North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, parts of western Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, eastern half of Colorado, the far western extent of Kansas, eastern Mexico, western Texas, and the western part of the Oklahoma Panhandle. There's another marginal for tomorrow that spans across far southeastern Mississippi, southern Alabama, southern Georgia, south central South Carolina, and parts of the Florida Panhandle. That's where we have a marginal for tomorrow. And there is a 2% tornado risk across extreme southeastern Montana, far eastern Wyoming, western South Dakota, and northwestern Nebraska. That is where we have a 2% tornado risk for tomorrow. Going over to the wind, we have a 15% chance tomorrow for thunderstorm wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher in far southeastern Montana, western South Dakota, far eastern Wyoming, and northwestern Nebraska. For for the 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour or higher. And there's a 5% chance of 58 mile per hour wind gusts or higher in eastern Montana, western half of, much of North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, eastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, eastern half of Colorado, far western extent of Kansas, New Mexico, extreme western or the far western part of the Oklahoma Panhandle, and western Texas. There's really a 5% chance of wind gusts of 50 miles per hour higher. And the same thing applies to far southeastern Mississippi, southern Alabama, southern Georgia, southern part of South Carolina, and parts of the Florida Panhandle. There's really a 5% chance of 58 mile per hour wind gusts or higher from thunderstorms tomorrow. And going to the hail probabilities, there's a 15% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger in the extreme southeastern corner of Montana, western South Dakota, far eastern Wyoming, and northwestern Nebraska. And there's a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger in eastern Montana, central and western North Dakota, parts of South Dakota, eastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, eastern half of Colorado, the far western extent of Kansas, eastern New Mexico, the western part of the Oklahoma Panhandle, and western Texas. 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger. And the summary for tomorrow indicates isolated severe storms with large hail and severe wind gusts will be possible on Monday in parts of the central and northern high plains. Marginally severe storms will be possible in parts of the southern high plains and southeast. And that's tomorrow, so stay safe in the affected areas today and tomorrow. I will try to have another update tomorrow, but, stay safe in the affected areas both today and tomorrow, and I'll have another update for you either tomorrow or Tuesday. Take care.